Hey yo, what's up, and welcome to my corner of the internet. So if you want to keep the lights on around here, please like, comment, and subscribe. That'll be much appreciated. Thank you so much. And let's get on to the video. So travel with me. It is now within the years of the 2000s. You're probably flicking through MySpace, looking at some amvs, or you're seeing a bunch of random videos throughout the interwebs that you didn't know you liked or enjoyed, but you stumble upon an amv that has fighting girls with a lot of panty shots. Some of them have cool powers, cool things that they do in weird outfits that make you super interested in watching them. If you didn't know at that time, you are going to find out. You are going to be obsessed with this weird anime that showcases martial arts, fighting, storytelling, and a lot of nonsense that comes with watching anime during the 2000s. And the anime that we're talking about is Ikki Tousen, or Battle Vixens. That is just a little synopsis of how I first got introduced to Battle Vixens or Ikki Tousen when I was literally like, I want to say 13 to like 12. I was watching AMVs on MySpace back when like everyone was coming out with the dope AMVs. This was one of the few ones that didn't have Linkin Park or like Fall Out Boy connected to it. Because like when I think about like Ikki Tousen, you know what I think about? I think about Rise Against, if you know that whole band. And I think that was like my first introduction to that music and this anime. And God, maybe some people know about the AMV, but it was like everywhere. It was like a fight between Sonsaku Hakufu and like I forgot who else, but it was the cool one with like the spear and whatever. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Ikki Tousen is with many seasons. God, so many seasons. I think we're like at 5 or 6, and it's an action manga comedy. It's 13 episodes, and it's written and illustrated by Yuji Shirozaki, and it is an interesting anime, I'll tell you that. It is a definite anime of its time. It has the goods and a lot of the bads. The story falls apart, but it's incredibly interesting with the writing. It's technically a historical, the way it melds in characters and it adds it to the story. And basically our story is everyone is a fighter within Japan, and these different schools are battling a turf war, and they fight for their right, and they're named after famous generals or war. People that were just important, that were doing a lot of crazy things a long time ago. And there's a lot of quirky things that happen within this anime that are references to who these characters were believed to be and a lot of the lore that surrounds some of these influential characters. Our main character is Hakufu Sonsaku, and she is a ditz. She is unbelievably odd and, you know, just filled with so much fan service. This anime is nothing but fan service, and it's totally 18 plus. So if you're not 18 plus, you shouldn't be watching this. And I know that's kind of rich coming from someone that watched this when they were like in their early teens, but listen, the internet was such a weird place, and I was just running into all sorts of different things. I'm sure everyone can agree with me on that. But the anime was actually entertaining here and there. Like, you got very invested in the martial arts and the craziness of what high school could be. I thought high schools were gonna be dope like this. I thought I'd be fighting around. I thought I'd be going around beefing with other different people from different places and trying to assert my dominance just for like the funsies. That totally didn't happen. I was a complete loser in high school. But I thought it was gonna be more of this craziness, this unwieldy, unnecessary world of high school where people are fighting, people are changing, and things are being enacted with some of the stories that will be told throughout our entire lives if we survive high school, which within this anime, several characters do not survive. And it's also incredibly well written how the differences of characters and the pieces that they put into the story with the betrayals, with the hidden mysteries of the schools and who's putting out the imperial orders for who gets beat up and who doesn't get beat up and who gets murdered. This story is layered, but the writing falls apart. They stop kind of caring a little bit through it, but I think it wins by the charm alone for a lot of its ideas. And I think anime like this tell you about such a different trend of anime. Anime was bombastic, boisterous, unnecessary, and filled with so much unneeded fan service. Seriously, so much fan service. It was almost like overbearing how much fan service was going on. But at the end of the day, this was probably meant for a certain demographic. But I love the story. I love the characters, because mostly these characters that we're introduced to, they are based off other characters that were like historical, and you should definitely go check them out and like see the lore of so many different things. Even the character designs of certain characters like Tontaku was literally based off of a real life person, and they played that within the design. And I thought that was a little cool like Easter egg for historical nuts, and you learn a little bit and you become interested in histories that you had no idea about. Like, you learn a lot throughout this anime if you get past like the fighting and the unnecessary, and there's a lot of references to how historical figures died, and that was a cool Easter egg. And you can definitely just surf through the Wikipedia or the webs and learn about all these characters and see how they were played and written into the story. And I think that's what I really liked about this anime, Ikki Tousen. Once you got past the beautiful girls fighting and getting their ass whooped and a lot of the fornication that was going on, there was a lot of entertaining tidbits that once you got past tomfoolery, you had a good time watching. Now, this wasn't the best anime. I think it was a good for what it was, and it's one of those animes that doesn't overstay their welcome, and they know that we got to get quick to it and we got to get there, and characters were dealt with, things were easily passed on, and we got conclusions and we moved on with the plot, even though sometimes it did overstay its welcome with certain like nonsense that they were trying to get away with. But all in all, this is an anime to have fun with if you're 18 plus and you want to watch something that's a little horny and a little filled with blood and guts and fighting and a little bit of, well, no, not a little bit, like a good bit of drama. If you want to watch something like that, you should definitely give Ikki Tousen a try. This is one of those animes I think a lot of people, if you're of age and you have the time, you should give a peruse and see how different anime was at a different time. God, this was such a different time of anime. I kind of missed it because it was just a mix of school, martial arts, and randomness. Ugh. So anyway, that's what I have to say about Ikki Tousen. Have you ever watched Ikki Tousen? Have you seen it in AMVs but never knew what it actually was? Well, now's your time. Go watch it if you can and go have a great time. Take care, be well, and happy spring. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.